Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome along to today's Facebook Live. Hope you've all had a good week. I don't know where August is going. It's quite scary. I was going into August thinking this will be a nice month to do lots of planning and, get everything ready for when the kids go back to school in September. Not that I have kids, but, it seems like the whole business world goes very quiet in August. But not this August, it's gone absolutely crazy. So, yeah, which is great, not complaining, it's all very good. But yeah, that's just where we are at the moment. So hope you're having a good summer, whatever it is that you're up to. So today's Facebook Live is a bit of a different topic. But something actually that we come across quite frequently, and is it a good idea to employ or work with your friends? So I don't know if you have any strong opinions on this at all, or if you've got any experience of it, but I just thought we'd go through it in a Facebook Live today because it quite often crops up in our advice and what we're doing with our customers. It comes up in terms of, should we employ our friends, but also we sometimes get involved in helping business owners who have gone into business with their friends, and then things become a bit difficult or a bit sticky or, a bit challenging along the way. So my personal view, let's start there, on employing friends in your business and working with your friends. So let's split them up because I think they're in two quite different categories. So working with your friends in a non-employed way, so collaborating with your friends and working with colleagues that are your friends. I absolutely love it. I think that it can work really, really well. You can obviously work with your best mates, which can be an amazing thing to do. I've done it a few times in my career now and worked with my really close friends. And I've got some good experiences and bad experiences of that. So I think if you're going to collaborate with your friends and do some work with friends, it can work really well. Quite often the communication is better between you because you know each other so well, you know each other's strengths and weaknesses. So it's really good when you're working on a project. You can kind of look at who's good at doing what, and you'll just know, and you can intrinsically kind of feel where each other is at, and it can work really well. However, employing friends, I think, can be a very different subject altogether. I think if you are the business owner, I think sometimes, especially in the early days, it's really tempting to employ friends in your business because you think, oh, well, I know them really well. I know Bob or Judy or whoever it might be, and I know that they're really good at X, Y, and Z, so they'd be really good to come and work in my business. Or Judy's really hard up at the moment. She's got, they're really hard. They've got no money at the moment. So actually she could do with a little part-time job. So I'm going to create her a job in my business. The problem with that is that, quite often what we hear is, oh, well, I employed my friend to come in and do X, Y, Z. They've been here for a number of years now, but actually, what I'm finding is I'm getting frustrated with them. They take the mick. They can't do the job to the standards that we need them to do. So it can be really challenging. And certainly what we've seen over the years is a number of people falling out because they've gone into business with a friend and it hasn't gone very well along the way. So how do you deal with that situation? Well, I think whatever you're going to do, so whether you are going to go into business with someone or whether you are going to employ a friend, I think you have to kind of put your business hat on and have that conversation with them. So regardless of, if you're going into business with them, that's one conversation. If you're employing them, that's another conversation. And I think you have to say to them, look, really want you to come and work with me, but let's get all the kind of formal stuff in place first. Let's make sure that we've got an agreement in place, and let's kind of chat through how this arrangement is going to work. Because the last thing that you want to do is go into that formal arrangement with someone, and you know, the law doesn't care if they're your friend or not. You know, the law is the law, and you know, if you employ your friend and things don't go well somewhere along the lines, you still need to make sure that you've done things properly from the beginning. So we're talking real basics here. So making sure that you've got a contract in place with them, making sure that they're clear on what their role is, but also, you know, raising that awkwardness before you even start the relationship. So saying to them, look, you know, obviously things can go wrong. You know, what are we going to do if that happens? Because it's so important, you know, if you value someone in their friendship, you want to protect your friendship going forward, and you don't want it to be a weird, awkward relationship because you are friends. I personally had this happen to me. So it's a long time ago now, maybe 10 years ago, I used to work. I was an employee, and my two really close friends also worked with me in that business. One of them was my boss. But we'd been friends before. So I'd come into work in the business. She was my friend. And we all worked really well together. That was until there was the thing called the recession, and the business started to struggle. And there had to be some cutbacks. There had to be some redundancies. And unfortunately, it was me that was selected for redundancy. And my friend, my really good friend, who at the weekends I'd go around her house and get drunk and do SingStar on the karaoke, had to make me redundant. And honestly, it was one of the worst experiences I have ever had to go through, because she was actually more emotional about it than I was. So I had my best friend sat there trying to make me redundant in front of tears, and I just wanted to know where I stood and what was going on. And that has really stayed with me, that experience, because, you know, now when I get asked advice and people have employed friends in their business, or they're working with their friend and they don't know how to deal with those situations, my advice is always go business on it and say to them, look, I'm going to have a conversation with you with my business hat on here. This isn't our friendship we're talking about now, but, you know, I need to have a difficult conversation with you, or an honest conversation with you. Same for working with family members as well. You know, I come from a whole family. You know, we've all got businesses, we all work with each other, and there are times when things can go wrong, and it can get really nasty when it is your friends or your family, because not only is the business relationship challenged, but your friendship is challenged. Or if you're family, then, you know, your relatives, and that relationship can be challenged as well. So I think that, you know, employing friends and family can be amazing, especially in the early days of business. You know, you might want to try before you buy. You might want to get people in to help you out in a short period of time, and people that you can trust. But I would just wholeheartedly recommend that you don't treat it any differently to any other relationship, and you just make sure that you get everything defined and clear from the word go, because it's then just makes it so much easier to deal with that situation if things go wrong. Another good thing to do is to agree sort of in advance, you know, how long this relationship is likely to go on for. You know, is it a permanent thing, or is someone just coming in to help you out for a short period of time? I've made this mistake before in the past when I first set up the business, and I, you know, was busy. I needed a little bit of help, but couldn't quite commit yet to employing someone. So I took on a friend to help me, and it just became really awkward because I hadn't set the boundaries from the word go. I hadn't said to her, you know, this is a temporary thing. It's probably not going to go on forever. And then it just became really awkward and really difficult. And actually it has affected our friendship long term because I didn't have that conversation with her to begin with. So I think all of this essentially comes down to just being open and honest with someone from the word go. Another thing that we see quite often as well is how a business owner, or typically a business owner, can support a manager within their business that has been promoted and now has to manage their friends. And that's a really common one, and something that, you know, we see a lot. And as HR people, you probably see every day, you know, working in a big organisation as well. And it can be really difficult for new managers to make that transition from being someone's friend to then having to step up and manage them. And again, I think it's advising and coaching that new manager through the process to say to them that, look, you know, you are friends and that hopefully will never change, but there needs to be a conversation where you be honest and you say to someone, look, I'm your mate, but now I'm going to have to manage you, and this is what that looks like. And for the person being managed, I think as that friend, you have to accept that things might be slightly different now at work than they were before, and that sometimes that person may have to have difficult conversations with you. So it is a really tricky one, and it's something that we do come across quite frequently. So I would just say that it can work really well. So don't be afraid to do it. Don't be afraid to look at, you know, your mates and see who might have a bit of synergy with what you're doing and who might work well in your business, but equally make sure that you get things clear from the beginning. Debbie said in the comments as well that goodwill doesn't last forever. And that's a really good point. You know, you can't expect someone to work for you for free forever either. So if you are calling on your mates for favours, don't take the mick and make sure that you put something in place so that they know where they stand, and that, you know, things like payment, time off, hours are all discussed up front so that you all know where you stand. So hope that was helpful, bit of a different one today, but have a good rest of the week, and I will chat to you all soon. Take care, bye.